Hey guys, it's me again. It's Hoop again. It's the hatening again. Today I want to talk kind of briefly about like going on benders and just kind of like abusing alcohol and drugs and all that stuff. If this kind of talk makes you uncomfortable, you might want to skip the episode. I don't think it's going to get too gory or anything, but I know that it could be triggering for people who are like sober, getting sober, you know what I mean? Like, I get it, and I don't blame you, but yeah. So, I don't know, the reason I don't know, I kind of like went on a bender for a while. Like, I didn't relapse on heroin or like drugs or anything really interesting. Like, after the pandemic, I'm pretty good on powders. You know, I think this year I've done coke once. Once or twice. Like, I don't do powders anymore because I'm afraid of fentanyl. You know, like the only 2 times I've ever like actually overdosed where like I had to get fucking like the ambulance and like not, you know what I mean? Like all that shit was on fentanyl. And that shit's going around and it's just, I just have no interest in risking dying again because I wanted to do like a bump of fucking coke at like a bar or whatever. But that being said, like I definitely go on benders to various degrees, and it's something that I have been trying to get under control, and it comes and goes in waves. And if you have a drug or alcohol problem or know someone who does, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And even if you don't think that you have a drug or alcohol problem, and I'm not going to do that whole thing where it's like, if you drink more than this amount of times, technically you're a blah, 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 because that's horseshit. Everybody's completely different. There's no standardized test for being an addict. There's no standardized test for any of that stuff. And if you believe that, you're fucking wrong. You know, that's my biggest gripe with like a lot of recovery programs. Like, you can't, it's addiction and substance abuse is not that, like, it's not like that. It's, yeah, it just pisses me off a lot. Like, not everyone fits into the same box with that shit. You know what I mean? But anyways, so yeah, like, benders are something that they can really like sneak up on you, you know, before you know it, you've just been drunk for a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple months or whatever, you know, like it's kind of scary, you know, when you realize that you're in the middle of a bender. You know, it's a lot of emotions that really come. Like for me personally, what will happen, and like I said, everyone's completely different. Everyone consumes differently, you know, different times of day, different drugs, different quantities, quality also. Generally speaking, for me, I abuse substances like cyclically, I've noticed. So I will, you know, I will party and then I will run out of reasons to not party every day to some degree, right? So that might not mean getting blackout drunk every night, but that would mean like I would still drink enough to like feel it every night at least, right? On top of like regularly smoking weed, and then any reason for me to consume more than that, an internal reason, like I'm having a bad day, I'm having a good day, I'm sad, I'm tired, I need to, you know what I mean? Then I would just be like, oh, fuck it, like I'm just going to get fucked up. Or an external reason, like someone wants to go to a bar at someone's birthday, at some kind of party, at some event where people are indulging. I'll just use that as like an excuse to like continue what I already was doing, basically, you know? And it comes and goes, you know? So like I said, normally, like I will go through a phase of having like legitimate, in air quote, reasons to drink or, you know, do whatever, party more than normal, more than I normally do. And then I'll get into like a mode of like drinking more. And then that turns into drinking when I get off work casually, just like having a you know, a couple beers at the house, right? And then that turns into doing that like every night after work, and then I'm getting drunk like I normally would on the weekends. And then it just turns into this thing where Monday comes around and I'm hungover, and what cures a hangover when you get off work? Oh, eating like shit, taking a nap, waking up, and then getting fucking drunk again. You know what I mean? Then you just fall into these patterns. Like when I was younger, I would do that with like pills. You know, that was a big one where it was like I wouldn't realize how much pills, like how many pills I was eating, how much I was taking pills and doing, you know, like opiates and benzos and downers and stuff. Until it was like, oh, I like don't remember like last weekend at all. You know what I mean? And then I would get a hard stop, and I would not drink, and I would not do drugs, and I would, you know, stop smoking cigarettes or whatever. And I would be like, you know what I mean? And I would take like this hard reset, and then I would slowly reintroduce those various substances back into my life, you know, as it is deemed appropriate. And then I would be fine for a while, and then we would come to another, oh, here's a party weekend that turns into 4 days, and that turns into 7 days. Next thing I know, I've been drunk for 10 days again, and I need to take time off. You know, that's like how I've always been for as long as I can remember, where once it starts, it doesn't stop until it's like slam on the brakes stops. You know, that being said, now that I have gotten older and I don't want to be wasted all the time anymore, I have more things to lose. I have more like goals that I want to achieve. I can recognize it when it's happening and not let it get to catastrophic levels. Not that I've ever really had anything like that crazy happen, but like in my personal just stuff, you know, normally it's just like I just don't get anything done for weeks on end because I'm just like drinking on the couch and sleeping all day. You know what I mean? And eating like shit. And then it just fuels this whole like self-loathing cycle. But I've been getting my shit together. I've been trying to get my shit together. And because of that, I really haven't like gone on like an actual bender in a long time, actually. I will have like weekends where I drink too much. I will have days when I drink too much. I will have weeks where I realize, shit, like looking kind of chubby, bud. Must be because you're drinking all this fucking beer and Twisted Tea, and when you get drunk, you don't want to cook, so you're just like eating a lot of calzones, you know? And I know that like people will go on like more serious benders than that, where they crash the car, they get a DUI, they get fired and all that stuff. And I'm lucky to have been an addict for most of my life, for all of my adult life. But I've always been able to kind of like rein it in. And that's also a thing that like scares me, that I'm really aware of, where like, I don't know how many chances I have left. You know what I mean? I don't want to press my luck too much. So I've been really cognizant of like, of how much I party and, what I'm willing to risk. You know, if I'm going to really go out and really fuck it up, it has to be worth it. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to like get blackout drunk on a Tuesday anymore. Saturday and Friday, yeah, sure, but not, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, and I have a million friends who but I have a million friends who party various degrees, and it's a thing that you shouldn't be embarrassed about. You shouldn't be ashamed of. You should be able to talk to people, and people who have similar situations are very willing to talk to people who do drugs, used to do drugs, used to drink, all that stuff, and be like, hey man, like, fuck, let me tell you about last weekend, you know what I mean? Oh shit, dude, like, did I tell you that I relapsed last week? You know, and then those things happen all the time, and I don't know. If you go on a bender, don't beat yourself up about it, man. Like, it happens, we all do it. I hope you had fun, but now real life is here again, and you gotta do your fucking laundry. You gotta brush your fucking teeth. You know what I mean? You gotta go to fucking work, dog. Like, you gotta make fucking money. You know, we're not fucking 16 years old anymore, and you can't just spend the whole summer sleeping all day and whatever. Like, it's crazy growing up and realizing that you need to like take control of yourself, and part of that is like limiting your consumption habits. And that's something that I really just like think about all the time, where it's like, I wish that I had like a normal functioning brain where I could have 2 beers and be like, damn, that was wonderful, and now I'm ready to go do something else. Because once I start going, I go until I can't anymore. And that's not like me being like, I'll fight a motherfucker if they get between me and the keg. But it's like, especially if there's like liquor. Once I start drinking liquor, it's like I'm drinking until like we leave, right? Like if it's beer and I go in being like, I'm only having 2, I can normally keep it there. But if we're just like hanging out and I'm comfortable, I just binge drink basically, you know, and it's like, oh, I have something in my hand, club, club, club. Now I don't, you know, I have something in my hand, eat that pill, snort that line. Now I don't. I'm down to have more because I'm still awake. Oh, there's still more in the fridge. Well, we got to kill it tonight. Oh, there's still some in the bag. Well, it's not no use in saving that little bit of shit for tomorrow. It's not going to do anything tomorrow, but it'll keep us up a little bit tonight. You know what I mean? And, but I've been able to kind of get that under control. I know a lot of my homies have. I have friends who still party like super hard. And it's, you know, it is what it is. Like, as long as you're safe, as long as you wake up the next day, hell yeah. You know what I mean? It's been a while since I've been on a really big bender, but I find myself, even though I'm doing good, wake up on like a Tuesday or Wednesday and be like, ah, damn, I've been going a little hard. I think I'm going to stay in the house this weekend. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. But hell yeah. Thank you guys for listening so much. As always, Andrew and I appreciate it more than anything. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. Give us a good review. That really helps us out for getting the word out and stuff. You can find the Hatening on Instagram. You can find me on all the social medias at Lord Hoopert. You can find Andrew at Mandrutron Says and Future Sucks, respectively. I'm not going to ever get that one right. It's just how it is. But yeah, take care of yourself and the people around you. And don't forget to tell your friends you love them.